After somebody's been in a car wreck and they've experienced a severe whiplash injury, there always comes a point where they begin to ask themselves whether the pain is in their head. And sometimes the reason for this is that doctors will mistakenly believe that whiplash heals after 6 to 8 weeks, when the literature and the research from those skilled in helping people with whiplash show that this simply is not true. And when a person is told that the pain is in their head, it can be very frustrating for them because they don't understand, and they don't understand why their doctor would say that to them. Unfortunately, because doctors have been trained that whiplash injuries heal in 6 to 8 weeks, they now are predisposed to decide that a person who's hurting longer than 6 to 8 weeks must not be telling the truth, or it must be in their head. And so they will tell somebody that unfairly and incorrectly. Now, the problem with it being in your head is what we call a somatoform disorder. Under the American Psychological Association's manual, the DSM-4, there is a specific category of a mental illness called a somatoform disorder, and there is a specific set of rules or criteria that are used to diagnose somebody with that. Unfortunately, when the insurance company doctor or a family doctor who's not familiar with whiplash sees somebody who is continuing to complain of whiplash after an 8-week time period, they may just immediately assume that there's a somatoform disorder without following the rules or criteria. But if one takes the time to look at the criteria set out in the DSM-4, 99% of the time, the person who experiences ongoing pain after a whiplash injury doesn't fit those criteria. And so people are being wrongly told by insurance company doctors, and sometimes by family doctors who are simply not experienced in whiplash injuries, that they're experiencing pain all in their head. That is, the pain is there because they believe it's there, not because it's actually in their neck. Unfortunately, the problem is that technology simply doesn't have a tool that we can stick electrodes into somebody's neck with a dial and see whether or not it registers pain. X-rays only show bones, and bones don't hurt. MRIs show tissue, but it doesn't show any pain in the tissue. In fact, an MRI can be normal on a dead person. And so we have a lack of technology to prove pain, and insurance companies seize upon that as a way to try and tell people that it's all in their head, or to convince juries that somebody's lying about injuries in order to save a buck or two.